Wagwan. It's your boy LP Coach, and we are back with the Next Generation Baller Show. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Come on, like up the things, get the algorithm going, keep me pushing. And we are back. Yes, we are back with another week of Premier League football game, week 12. Before we start, let me know your weekend's been. What you guys been up to? Weekend's been alright. Sister's just had a baby. Actually went to go see the lights actually in Ilford. Went to see the lights with the kids and that. Then went to see the sister. She had the baby. But no, what's been alright watching the football and that as well. Obviously, gotta keep up even though my team's playing tomorrow. Me United, big game tomorrow. But yes. Also, so guys, don't forget to watch my previous video. If you haven't watched my journey, go and watch my journey. That is on the YouTube channel. Yes, I talk little bit about my journey in the game, where I've been and what I've done, and I'll be giving out more stories. Look out for that. I'm actually doing that tomorrow, so look out on the socials. I'll be switching up the dates and the times, and I'll be giving you guys more consistent. But if you haven't seen already, my journey, go watch that. That tells you all about me, what you need to know, what I've done in football, and what I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking to do now. But yes, let's crack straight into it. Boy, today, let's just start with the game today. Yeah, Carl. You know what? Obviously, there was games in that yesterday, but bruv, let's start off with Arsenal, because today in the North London derby, but it's looking day. I'll be honest. Me, I've been a big skeptic of Arsenal. Everyone that knows me, I don't really rate Arsenal. Always get onto the fact that they ain't won a Champions League in 150 years. It's been 22 years, no title, all of this. Yeah, or they're just all hype and no substance for me, innit? I'm a trophy man. I don't do the points FC. Like when it comes to Arsenal, always tell me how many points and this game that they won. I'm not about that. I like to see the shiny trophy. Obviously, they ain't got a Champions League. Premier League's been a bit tight, so they've been challenging, and I've been a bit skeptical. But right now, I'll be honest, there's nothing really I can say. Like, there's nothing I really could say, Carl. Arsenal really look like they're stepping up. They're stepping up and they're doing the business. We're talking about set piece Arsenal. They didn't need set piece today. Slapped Spurs 4-1. And for me, it's a big statement game, if I'm being honest. How everyone's, especially regarding, we'll talk about Man City later, but regarding Manchester City's result, how Arsenal performing now, Arsenal are definitely the team to beat. They're definitely the team that everyone should be fearing, everyone should be thinking about winning the title. And for me, as a Man United fan, I hate to see this, but facts are the facts. They didn't need set pieces today. The boy Eze, we'll speak about him a little bit later. The boy Eze stepped up today, but they didn't need set pieces today. How they was able to, and one thing about Arsenal, which I noticed today, they got a lot of players out. And for performance that they put in today, with the players that they got out, with the likes of Odi, Havertz, Gokeres not in the team, and they're still managing to get these results at the end of the day, and performances. Forget about the results, the performances to go along with it. Arsenal definitely have to be the clear favourites for the Premier League alone. Yes, there's still a long way to go, but how Arsenal looking like, and the main thing I want to say, Arsenal look at team. Like over the last couple of seasons, yes, we've been saying that, but this season particularly, when we look at all the other teams, when we look at Liverpool, when we look at Man City, Manchester United, even Chelsea a little bit, it's still new teams, still people gelling, still people developing managers' philosophies, all signings, all of that trying to cram into one. Where Arsenal seem to be have got that continuity. Everyone seems to know each other. Everyone seems to know the plan. This year recruitment, they've got a lot of players in, but it doesn't seem to falter their idea and stall it in a dramatic fashion that we see with Liverpool, considering that they just won the league. Big up Eze. Yeah, hey, big up Eze. We're going to talk about Eze as well. I might as well even talk about him now, but especially the turnover. But when it came to Eze in his performance today, especially hat-trick today, and one of the main things about Eze for me, why today was such an important game for Eze, because okay, Arsenal's been over the start of the season was a bit slow. Yes, Arsenal was getting the victories over the line, but the new signings wasn't flourishing. Go crazy. He wasn't that frustrating goal-scoring striker that was tearing up the league. Yes, he's getting goals, but maybe he wasn't quite the polished striker that we all thought he was. And then Eze, his we know the magic that he was doing at Crystal Palace. Some was questioning his characteristics. Some were saying, can he really quite handle what it needs to be at Arsenal? Especially, I think it was that Sunderland result where Arsenal drew. I think there was a lot of criticism on Eze in terms of, is he the player that Arsenal, can he be the player that Arsenal really need to go on and win the title? And this game especially, to go and not just get a goal, but I think it's the first hat-trick in this game. I think it was for 1970 something. I remember they saying in the game, but I forgot. I know it's been a hat-trick. Hasn't been a hat-trick in this fixture for a very, very long time. And if you think about the players, famous players that's been in this fixture, like Thierry Henry, Perez, Harry Kane, to go and get a hat-trick in this fixture in the position that Arsenal are in the league, got to give big shouts out to Eze. And he is definitely putting the critics to sleep, telling the critics to shut up with that performance. And for me, I feel like Eze now, with that type of performance, and Arsenal especially, they can go on and be a scary force for the rest of the season. Like I said, they've got a lot of players injured and that can come into the team and really shake up Arsenal. We know, obviously, this is a big week. They go against Bayern Munich. Then they got Chelsea the next and the game after that. And that's going to be, obviously, a big say in how things are determined over the course of their season. But for now, Arsenal are really looking like a polished team. And for me, what's interesting about Arsenal is how they're able to develop in their different strategies in terms of how they're developing the game moving forward. So as you saw against today, we talk about Spurs as well. Spurs started off with playing 3, may someone say 5 at the back. And what Arsenal did really well, you can see with Eze's goals when he got into the pockets in the middle, Arsenal was able to drift Spurs out wide, leaving lots of holes in the middle of the park, where they was able to pick up the ball with the likes of Rice driving in and Eze picking up the ball. We saw Trossard as well with his goal, getting the first goal, was able to get into them little holes and create chances for Arsenal. And for me, and obviously see in the second half with Thomas Frank having to change it up. And when we speak about, because if you speak about Tottenham, but overall, great performance for Eze, and long may it continue, and hopefully he can be a mainstay in the England team as well with the World Cup coming up. Because for me, despite my rivalry with all players, when it comes to the English players, I want the English players to have a good season because I obviously want England to win the World Cup. But yeah, speaking about Spurs, you saw what I just spoke about, how they played 5 at the back and how they had that hole in the middle of the park, which caused a lot of problems for them. And then you saw in the second half with Thomas Frank making changes. They took off Townsend, put on Simmons, and tried to have that more creativity, because that's another big problem for Spurs. I did say in my previous videos that the biggest issue for Spurs is going to be their creativity. They don't really look to have creativity. Simmons was supposed to be that guy that was supposed to say challenge the likes of Maddison, but with Maddison also being injured, it seems like they're struggling there. And in the first half, they really struggled. Arsenal was literally dominating, controlling the game, finding them pockets in the middle of the park, and being really dangerous. In the second half, he tried to change it. But like I was going to say, the changes, I feel like the problem what Thomas Frank is having, I feel like with his trying to adapt to playing in European, because he's the first time he's played in European football and playing in the Premier League, I think he's trying to mold that 2 different styles into Spurs. And I think now what he's having is a bit of confusion. I feel like with the Spurs, with the type of team that they are, where they're not a very big squad, I think they would like to play a one specific way. I know Andre wasn't really the way that the first fans wanted it, but I think 1 week playing defensive, next week playing attacking, I think it's kind of getting the players confused. And obviously the injuries is having a big impact on them. Obviously Maddison's still out injured, hopefully looking to get back sometime in the new year. But creativity wise, Spurs are really struggling. But Thomas Frank's got to sort it out. Big game again now in the Champions League again. Obviously Champions League has really done well for him in terms of his performance and maybe getting them niggling cracks over the line. But like you said, if he doesn't start to pick up wins, Tottenham could be in a big trouble. But Arsenal overall looking like the team that's going to go and dominate. What do you guys think? Spurs fans, let me know what you think about Thomas Frank. Do you think there's some problems there? Do you think he needs to get sacked? Or do you think that he should still be there? But for me, Arsenal, definitely title challenge. Team that everyone should be looking to go on and be scared of when it comes to winning this league. But we'll move on. Because for me personally, obviously, as much as the rival, I can spend this whole stream, don't want to spend this whole stream talking about Arsenal. Because yeah, even now when I'm deep in it, them winning the league, Yeah, he's gonna kill me in this group chat. But we'll move on. Man City kicking off yesterday. I talk about Man City because I did say last week, Manchester City, I was speaking about Pep and he's looking like he's gonna be, he smiles back again. But Manchester City against Newcastle, we saw the likes of Harvey Barnes. Where Harvey Barnes stepped up and Pep looks like they're struggling. The rebuilding that midfield looks like it's really struggling for Manchester City. Wasn't able to get control of that game. But when I look at that game overall, if I'm being totally honest, it's kind of a 50-50 game. And I thought that Manchester City had chances, but they didn't really quite finish them chances. And if they're not clinical in the Premier League, any team can beat you. And for Eddie Howe, it was a very, very big victory for Eddie Howe in that game because it's the first time he's ever beat Manchester City in his whole career, being at Bournemouth as well before he joined Newcastle. And as well, the stuttering season that they've had. Yes, another win at home. They're looking like they're making St. James's Park a fortress that plays such a cauldron. We know how big and wild their Newcastle fans are. And they're really looking like they're making that a very, very hard place for teams to come. And obviously, we know the issue Newcastle's their away form. But the victory, any victory against Manchester City home and away is a big, big victory. But Manchester City, again, and Pep Guardiola got big issues over there. Big issues over there, that consistency. We thought that Manchester City was getting back to it. 6 wins in the last 7 games. But again, stalling again. Foden had some great chances. Should have got a penalty, in my opinion. I don't really understand. There's been a lot of niggling decisions over the course of these weekend. We've seen that's this same old thing cropping up with players on the island of the goalkeeper. But again, with VAR and Foden, I think it was Schur after Foden shot, nicked him on his foot. And for me, that was a stonewall penalty. And I don't know how VAR is not giving that as a penalty. And I feel like if Manchester City got that Haaland getting on the score sheet again, maybe that could have been a totally different game. But I know there was another incident as well with Donnarumma. For me, that was onside. I've seen some clips on TikTok about people talking about the conspiracy and changing of pictures and that. I need to actually go look back on that because I did see something in there, but I didn't quite look into it. But what do you guys think? Do you think that was onside, offside? For me, how it looked at the time, it looked onside, and I don't see all that free antics with Donnarumma and him dropping on the floor and holding his back. All of that stuff, leave it at, do you know what I'm saying? We've got VAR. Players should just crack on with the game and let VAR deal with it, right or wrong. At least you can blame it on VAR. But don't give yourself an excuse and be diving around all of that. But for Manchester City, again, we thought that they was going to be the challengers to Arsenal right now. And when I'm talking about a team, Manchester City, again, struggling to get them new players gelling in, molding in. Reinders has seemed to go very, very quiet. That £70 million bid from Tottenham, from Spurs is looking like where they're looking like they should have took that. And yeah, City got some big problems. And Arsenal, like I said, looking like a team. And apart from, some may say even Chelsea, but again, we'll talk about them a bit later. I always said with Chelsea, again, we're going to talk about the consistency with them having such young players. But big victory for Newcastle, moving up in the table. And again, for Newcastle, it's about consistency. Can they go on Champions League again for them this midweek? They've been doing really well in the Champions League, but can they get that consistency and start pushing on in the table? Because like I said, at the start of the year for Newcastle and Eddie Howe, and especially if he wants to keep that job at Newcastle, he has to be doing well in the Champions League and consistently be getting in Champions League spaces. And when the likes of Villa, we'll talk about it later on in the show, likes of Villa, getting consistent again in Emery. I don't know how we got them into fourth place, Emery, but Villa, yeah, saying Newcastle need to be getting in that type of form there. So it's going to be interesting for Eddie Howe and how they move forward. Also as well, Pep Guardiola, he's got to work it out. He's got to get that consistency. He was giving it the big one in the international break, talking about the title starts now and this is where it really kicks off. And then you go and lose. Yeah, you got to step up. Manchester City got to step up. But we move on to the boys in Liverpool. Liverpool slacking, absolutely slacking, and I love it. Liverpool ain't doing it for me right now, and I'm so happy. Getting smoked yesterday, sorry. 3-0 to Liverpool. To Nottingham Forest, absolutely cooking. And then when I talk about team, Liverpool look shot to pieces. And I was thinking about this week, and I was talking about it in the group chat as well. And I was sitting there thinking, what is the problem? And I was diving over the last couple of weeks, and I did say in the stream in previous videos that I do feel that again it's the new signings. They're not gelling, they're not clicking, and it's gonna take time. When you have such big egos as well, who you're gelling and putting into this team, Slot's gonna find it very difficult. But boy, in the Premier League, if you don't win games, you're gonna get sacked. And I think that's now his 6th or 7th loss again this season. They've already lost one more game than they lost last season to go on and win the title. But we've seen this before. We've seen Ancelotti get sacked. We've seen Jose Mourinho get sacked after winning titles. We've seen managers get sacked after winning titles. So if Slot don't really pick it up, and you got to remember, the African Cup of Nations is coming up soon. He's going to lose Salah. Yeah, he's going to lose one of his key players. And with the start that Liverpool has had this season, Slot has got some serious issues when it comes to Liverpool and that team. We saw Van Dijk in his interview. He's just saying, we're not tackling at the right time. We're not doing the things that we need to do as a Liverpool player. And some are saying that maybe that his interview, he's basically giving a message out to the team like, yo, you man needs to pattern up, man. You're coming here, but this ain't we just do what we want when we want. And hey, brother, this is a title winning thing. We need to do this week in, week out on point, but right now I'm loving it. Long may it continue, yeah. Long may it continue, because these Liverpool fans thought they was gonna go on and dominate the Premier League for the next 5-10 years. It doesn't look like it's happening, buddy. And this is why we love the Premier League. This is why we love the Premier League, because anything can happen at any time. So even when we talk about Arsenal being the favourites, when we look at the teams just below them, we're intrigued to see who's really gonna turn it up. What players are actually going to step up and put their team to the forefront. But right now, hey, Liverpool looks like they're slacking and all their players look like they need to go in the bin. But let's know what you think about Liverpool. Liverpool fans, where you at? You man are all hiding. Your man was loud. I can't see you, man, no more. But Sean Dyche, Nottingham Forest. He looks like he's really stepping up to the plate. Looks like he's coming to the forefront for Nottingham Forest in a big relegation battle. And they stepped up in this game. They was really on it. And I think the problem with Liverpool and what they're having right now is, see, sometimes when you get into this situation, when your form is not low, when your form is not of the greatest, the physical battles are what become the worst. And for me, this is what I saw when it comes to my Man United team. See, when your team's not in the form and the confidence is not right there, you see when the team start physically putting it on them, getting in the air, them second balls, them second tackles, it doesn't really quite come off. And I feel like with Nottingham Forest and Sean Dyche, that's what they thrive. That's what they thrive on, and that's what ultimately gave Sean Dyche and Nottingham Forest the advantage in this game. If you saw, especially, I think it was Hutchinson's goal when he shot and then Alisson saved it, and Gibson was just there ready to knock it in. It's just that urgency, even as well. The first goal with Moreno out of the corner, I think it was one of the Liverpool players got on it. Second ball, Moreno was on it, slapping it straight in. And these are the things what I'm talking about in terms of the physicality and just the alertness and being there ready at any moment. And I feel Liverpool and their confidence, I feel Nottingham Forest was able to take advantage of that. That fitted Sean Dyche to a glove, and they went on to go and get a victory. Obviously, there was another conscious decision again with the VAR and that in-line with players standing in front of the goal line. Alisson, for me, Alisson had a clear view of it. The player was onside as well, and I just hate one thing I do hate is when we get into these narratives, yeah, of like when a decision happens, like we focus on decisions for the next 3-4 weeks, and then this and this, and then suddenly it happens every single week, and then then there'll be another decision, and that decision will happen for like 3-4 weeks. Like, it's just so annoying. Like, I just don't understand. The referees just being normal human beings, I just don't understand. Especially when it comes to this game of football, it's been played for like over 150 years, by such simple decisions always go wrong. But hey, I guess that's the beauty of football. And yes, also next gen highlight, Nugra Immoral came on 78th minute, got a few touches on the ball, wasn't really involved in the game today. Will be a disappointing result for him, but it'll be good for him. Like I said, with the lots of games coming up, I think Liverpool got 7 games in 21 days coming up. So like I said, it's good to see the young boy getting some minutes. Wasn't able to have an impact, but hopefully can have an impact over the next couple of weeks for Liverpool. But yeah, big disappointing for Slot. Let us know what you think, Liverpool fans. For me, if it doesn't shape up in these next couple of games, I do think the Champions League might save him, but he has got big question marks to answer. And Nottingham Forest, I think they will be safe, and hopefully they can go on a decent European run. Moving on to Turf Moor, Chelsea versus Burnley versus Chelsea. Maresca ball. It seems like Maresca. I feel like philosophy at Chelsea has been cemented with Maresca. I think the Chelsea players know how they're going to play underneath him. And I feel like the young core of players, this is just about the development, how it will progress moving forward. I did say, because they are such a young group of players, it is going to be about the consistency. And obviously right now, I feel like with Chelsea, there's not really that much pressure, especially with the position that they're in, considering right now the European spots, they're good. I don't think the owners are going to any question marks around the club. Obviously, the fans understand it's kind of like a project building kind of phase, what they're going through now. So maybe the hunger to not be challenging right at the top is not really a concern, but it's going to be about to the latter stages when it comes to Chelsea for me. The latter stages in terms of how they're going to be in terms of them difficult games. But the likes of Gittins looks like he stepped up, great ball, whipped it in to Neto for the header in. He had a quiet start to his Chelsea career. Looks like he's starting to push on now. Obviously, with Palmer still injured his toe recently. It's going to be important for him to kind of stake his claim, because it's going to be interesting when we know Ostavio was rested. What a player he's turning out to be. It's going to be interesting when Palmer comes back into that team for a lot of them attacking players and them cementing them their place, especially with the likes of Garnacho also there as well. So good for Gittins to get his goal, start his Chelsea career, and it's going to see a bit more consistency there for me. Really dynamic on the ball, can go both ways for me. Really like him at his at Dortmund. We see how Sancho and his transfer to England. And I always say one of the biggest things for Sancho, why I feel like he wasn't hitting the heights that I thought that he needs to hit at the highest level in the Premier League, was simply because of his physicality. And I think because of Gittins' stature of a winger, I thought that's going to be very important for him. And that's one thing I forgot as well to talk about. I was going to talk about Harvey Barnes and the Anthony Gordon dynamics. Obviously, I'll probably make a TikTok about that as well, because the physicality, because he's bigger, the frame's bigger. I feel that that allows him to, gives him an advantage when it comes to proving his physicality in the league and being a dominant force when it comes to that. And for me, good win for Chelsea and Maresca. Again, consistency for Burnley. Scott Parker said it was a good victory, a good performance. Sorry, obviously Burnley. There was probably a game that Chelsea has a throw-off way game, considering the quality of Chelsea and where they are in terms of their ambitions in the league. But for me, I did feel like it wasn't it didn't go all Chelsea's way. I did feel like Burnley. The problem with the teams like Burnley, we all know their how can I say, their attacking prowess and their abilities to score goals is always going to be an issue for them. And we did see Fleming get a little chance there. He had a little ball over the top. Has to finish when he gets in them chances. But that's, for me, Chelsea didn't run away with the game. It was a decent performance. They managed to get over the line in the end. But I did get where Scott Parker came from. The quality he understands where his team at is that he's not really going to batter them, considering they never got they didn't get smoked, and they put in a decent performance. But for Chelsea and Maresca, consistent second in their table. Arsenal next week, they got a big game midweek against Barcelona. Big week for Chelsea and Maresca. If Chelsea can go and get victories in these next couple games, then they're really, really going to be turning the corner, and this project might be turning into the fruition that Chelsea fans expect it to be. But it's going to be a big week for Arsenal and Chelsea, considering their big games. Arsenal playing Bayern, Chelsea playing Barca. We're going to see how both teams fare midweek and then come and face each other on the weekend. Obviously, we know Man United is playing tomorrow on Monday, so big game again for Manchester United. Take opportunity. If they win, get a decent result, they could possibly go fourth, but a win would definitely put them fifth in the league. And if Man United want to be in and amongst, especially that Champions League spot, they're going to need to get that victory tomorrow against Everton. Moving on before we sign out, guys, don't forget to like, share, and sub. As you can see, this is a Sunday show. We're also going to do a Monday show. We're going to talk about stuff a little bit different, but we're going to be adding more shows to the thing. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Follow us on our socials underneath there. You'll get all the updates and information on there as well, and more content. But yes, the boys, West Ham, Bournemouth versus West Ham. Nuno was so close to getting a victory against Nottingham Forest today, 2-0 up. Wilson, two amazing finishes. Well, I say amazing. The first one, the keeper was moving a bit laxy-daisy, but the second finish was outstanding. That chest and that finished to slap it in the top corner before the Irons was going to go on and win the game. But again, sloppy defensive mistakes, conceding a penalty, and then right at the end, West Ham conceding the equalising goal. And for West Ham and Nuno, obviously the performances have got a little bit better, but West Ham have to get out these niggling problems if they want to creep away from this relegation battle and have it. I think that's where it is for West Ham now. I don't think anything else has to be that for them. I feel like they just should need to get themselves comfortably away from that relegation zone and reset and go again for next season. But it does look like Nuno has got them off the start again. Obviously, Bournemouth managing to get a draw out of that game, keeping their good form going. And for Bournemouth, again, I thought for Bournemouth and the likes of Semenyo, obviously Bournemouth and the likes of Semenyo as well, yeah, I was going to mention, big rumours for them, obviously him and his £65 million clause. Obviously, he's rumoured to go to the African nations as well with Ghana. So that one is going to be interesting for Bournemouth. But this victories and the momentum in the team spirit doesn't seem to be affecting them. But for Bournemouth, they definitely want to be keeping this momentum going in terms of their ambitions, because if they want to keep the likes of Semenyo, if they can guarantee and say, look, we're a team that's fighting for Europe and we're going to be inside Europe, you're going to get opportunity to showcase your skills on the European level, then maybe this release clause might not affect them as a club. But Bournemouth definitely need to keep this form going. But yes, and yes, guys, thanks. That's it for tonight. Been a good, nice show. Obviously, I don't get to talk about my boys, Manchester United. We're playing again tomorrow. Like I said, it's a big game for Man United. Martinez looks like he's getting back into the team. It's going to be very important for us in terms of his leadership. I don't think he's going to start the game. Hopefully, if Man United have a decent performance and we're going and winning the game comfortably, hopefully he can come on and get some minutes. But big game for Bruno and Manchester United. Everton won't be no slouches with the likes of Ndoye on fire. Grealish always loves the game against Manchester United, the former Manchester City man. So Man United need to, and David Moyes, obviously we know, former Manchester United manager, definitely going to want to get one over his former in play. So we see how that one turns out. And yes, guys, appreciate you guys locking in. Don't forget to subscribe. As you can see, we're elevating and leveling up all the time. Got so much content to come for you guys over the course of the weekend. Don't forget to go on our socials. Don't forget to join our Fantasy Football League £100 winner for the person that wins the league. Don't forget to look into that as well. We've got many more things coming up for you guys. Enjoy your week. Let's go, buddy.